morning, my friends. How are you? I have time to sit down and do a little daytime glam with y'all. I'm very excited. I do need water. Let me go get water. Alrighty. Bases are almost all covered. Get it? Base? I'm just gonna throw on my favorite liquid shadow. So this is all stuff that I have in my little travel kit. So you're seeing, whenever I travel, you're seeing my favorites of favorites. Do you want to see something fun? I need to blend this out. But I will say the dry time on the Armani, you have a little bit more dry time, even with all my yapping. But look at this. Look what's still in my travel kit. This is the old formula. We're not going to be using that today because I carry my Mario one with me now. But just so you know, like, I'm going to a special event and I'll wear my Givenchy to the special event. All right, let's take our E29, smooth this out. Another thing, if I'm traveling, this is a very spicy price palette, yes, but it's so multi-purpose that I love bringing it. Now, I did bring another palette this trip, but the one I brought was the Roxa, the purple one, so we could do that eventually while I'm here. Kind of just do a more eye-enhancing look instead of the feral look that I did yesterday. But if I know that I'm not going to need any color and I just always am going to be in a hurry, this palette. It's so good. And I actually want to go a little bit cooler today. So I'm using that same E29 brush and I'm just going to put a little bit of definition in my socket. Ben's in a meeting in the other room, so we're probably gonna hear him. I just need everybody to sign their NDAs. I actually have to hop off. I'll save it till the end, and I'm gonna have to hop off and film a little blush hack, but that's not till the end. But I always like to warn y'all. All right, I'm gonna take that whiter shade and then just pack that on my lid just to brighten up a hair. That's like my favorite eye look right there. I remember I went to MAC 1,000 years ago and I wanted an eye look like this, but obviously I didn't know how to pick it, and the artist did their best, which I feel that it's so hard to, it's like I feel like when you go to a makeup counter, this is why I have so much grace for makeup counters. Let me explain this. Think of it as taking your pet to the vet. The pet has a hard time explaining exactly what's wrong with it because obviously it can't talk. So whenever I used to go to a makeup counter, it was so hard for me to get across exactly what I wanted. So I would say, you know, I want a cream eyeshadow. Well, cream can mean so many different things to so many different people. So once I kind of rounded it all up and kind of got my lingo together, I was able to go to the makeup counter and ask for things and get what I was actually wanting. And that's kind of my entire existence, is to kind of empower you to go makeup shopping, to understand, like, I'm a cool undertone and have you understand that. So while the sales associate, they can help you, you can also have your knowledge. And that's what I always wanted. I wish that I would have known how to speak makeup. And now I'm going to take a little bit of this shade here. So this one I would call kind of a muted white. That's not a bright white. And then this one I would say, how would I call that? See, this is why it's so important. You don't want a bright white, you want a muted white. Isn't that, it's that simple, and that can help. I would have just been like, I want a white eyeshadow. So it's bright, muted, even, there's so many ways to explain it, but that's why I'm here and that's why I do this every day. We could call this a light cream. We could call that a light cream for sure. And this lighting's really true. This is daylight. I feel like daylight is so much more forgiving. A lot of times I get comments, and I've never used, I think I used a ring light in literally 2014, but the lighting that I use is very much extremely true. Let's just say too true. And when I come on business trips and stuff, I'll usually just use sunlight. It's obviously a lot easier. Sunlight is not always true because it can be so warm, and the right sunlight is so forgiving. So sometimes we don't always want reviews in the beautiful, soft sunlight. Keep that in mind. So let me fill you in on what we're doing today. We are going to go do product development for Rose and Ben Beauty for 2025. I have to remember what year it is, Lord. And what do you want to see? I'm gonna leave a little box right there. That'll be fun, right? Tell us what you want to see. I forgot I had this little mini palette. I always have this one, and I wanted to use this one. I think it's going to be perfect for, I just want to do a soft gray liner today. I'm going to be wearing a gray skirt. So I'm going to kind of matchy match a little bit, but to get it a little bit more pigmented, I'm going to grab this clear base, and I'm just going to run this along my lash line. And this is a really, really easy wing, okay? Get in there. Nice. Let me do the other eye. I have the window open. I'm in LA, if you didn't catch yesterday's slide. So let's grab this shade, grabbing it on an E27, and then we'll just stamp it into the lash line. Oh, that's perfect. So this one, Lord have mercy, things are happening. So this one is going to be a darker shade than the one from the Kevin Aucoin palette. And then there you go. Nice little soft wing. E27. Great for hooded eyes. Now, we're just gonna do mascara today, but we need to make sure that these lashes are super, super dry, because this was one of the reasons my lashes were not staying curl. Take whatever loose powder, and I wear contacts. I don't want you to feel like this is gonna get in your eye, because we can shut, I know some of us can't shut one eye at a time like a creepy baby doll, but if not, you can just shut both eyes, and all you're doing is just pressing this powder. It's such a small amount. And you're just making sure your lashes are extra dry. So then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my lash curler, and I'm also going to powder that. Also make sure that you're really cleaning your lash curler. Clean it with soap and water, and do this, I mean, I do it every day. And I hate putting pressure on y'all, but clean tools make such a difference, and also with our eye area. So it's really important to keep everything that's going around our eye nice and clean. All right, everything's nice and powdered. The drier, the better. I do the same thing with my brows, except for I don't curl my brows, obviously. But I powder them. Anytime you want makeup to last, even I showed that powder trick underneath foundation. That is not a gimmick. That's something that's been around since the beginning of makeup, especially film and makeup. So powder is never a bad idea. So if you really want your lashes to stay curled, I'm gonna give you a link. This is the mascara. Now, it is a waterproof formula. That being said, I never have issues with waterproof formulas because I use that dadgum Elemis cleansing balm and a makeup eraser. I honestly, you get it in there, emulsify that, this is off in 1 minute. I'm not exaggerating. I can switch between looks and I never have issues. But back to the mascara. It is so good and actually holds curls. So I kind of ever so lightly coat the root, because the root gets heavier, but I want the definition. So I get in there, I've got my definition. Now I work on the tips of the lash, and that can handle more product because the ends are more wispy and not as heavy. So there is a little bit of a technique, but this mascara, y'all best believe I brought this foundation. Give it a really good shake. I'm gonna need more of this. I can already feel I need more. Goodness gracious. Now, I don't want you to think that it doesn't last. Nobody does the amount of filming and look switching that I do unless we're backstage at a runway. So don't worry. It would last most people the amount of time that any foundation lasts. The match. How thin it is. Delightful. Okay, let's get the C42 ready. The Jean Bean hair, I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna snuggle that later. Don't judge me, I love that cat. I miss his little snores right now. my gosh, you know what I just thought of? My birthday is next week. Ben's birthday's next week too. So Ben's birthday's on Halloween, and then mine is the next day on November 1st. It's birthday time. I didn't even think about that till literally it just dawned on me. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that. So even though I'm going to be 36, I still love my birthday. I want birthday cake. I want candles. I want all the cute birthday stuff. I like my birthday. All right, let's get this concealer going. Now he's on the phone. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna do the concealer underneath my eyes. I feel like with this foundation, it just pairs so beautifully with this concealer, and then I feel that I don't need coverage anywhere else because the foundation is so thin but so blurring. Same with this concealer. Match Made in Makeup Heaven. Give me the C32. Let's blend it up. We're shifting a meeting, in case you're wondering. That's what I just heard. We're gonna shift a meeting. So let's get our bronzer on, C40. And then I'm going to throw on a lipstick, but I'm not gonna set my cheek or under eye. I'll come back and set it. So let me disappear. We'll finish the lip together. I'll lightly set around my lips. You like my extraction? We're fighting. Bloomington. That's his name. Actually, you know, at this time in my life, I don't mind. It makes me feel youthful. So I love going a little overboard with my bronzer when everything is still in a wet state, and then I can melt in the edges. Now, one thing I don't want to directly do is go over this area. That could turn a little too gray. But I love to melt edges. You're not gonna get gray. And I didn't add anything else. We're just still in a wet state, so that foundation is going to kind of melt together with the bronzer, but it just gives a beautiful kind of bronzing veil to the skin. It's one of my favorite things. You'll know I like makeup, right? So whenever I sit down and I start doing my makeup, the first thing if you see me looking over here, I'm trying to grab it. I put one of these on my lips. So at night, I sleep with this on my lips, and the moment I get out of the shower, I put this on my lips, or wash my face, this is on my lips, and then when I sit down to do my makeup, this is on my lips. And I have tried every lip treatment in the makeup world. Nothing compares to this. I'm going to get you a link. Now, I'm gonna use a more matte formula, so I'm going to need to dab. I don't need to completely wipe this away, but I don't need a lot on my lips right now. But if you are looking for a new lip treatment, something truly hydrating, the best. I'm just gonna go ahead and set the center. I'm gonna keep it far away from my cheeks and my under eye though, because I'll teach the technique here, but I had a, what would it be called? I guess we'll just say a media outlet reach out, and they wanted me to film a video for them. So you'll see it there. I'll let y'all know. But then again, I'll film it here too, so don't feel like you're missing out on anything. But just to start, we would want all of this to be nice and in a wet state. Perfect. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do for this little Bloomington is I'm gonna add a hair more concealer. Notice I didn't set there yet, okay? And then I'm going to take my dense brush, D2, coming soon. Very soon, actually. Okay. A little extra. Much better, right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that same dense brush. So this is going to be more dense, and anytime you need coverage, you want density. So this is more dense than, we don't know. It's more dense than this is. So we're gonna take that same powder, the one I just tagged. I'm gonna press it, gotta find it now, I've lost it. Okay, press that on there. And another reason I really like this powder, I'm gonna let it bake too, but I like this powder because it has a lot of pigment in the formula. So it's not just a very translucent powder. Again, it's not gonna be as much pigment as say a powder foundation, so that's why we don't need 40 plus shades. But you are going to have a little bit more coverage than say even the Givenchy with this powder. All right, let's actually, you know what? let's put a little powder around here. Let's just go ahead and set here. This doesn't matter. And so it looks like I'm really putting it on my lips, like for a reason. What you could be doing is if you're wearing a very matte lipstick, you could set that lip balm that we have on, that lip treatment. But I'm not really worried about that right now. What I'm doing is just setting around my mouth. And that's good. That's perfect. So there is a method, but I don't want you to feel you need to do that every single time for your lipstick. It just depends. So this is my Fenty Beauty lip liner, Thugs Blush 2. I like this one. It's like a mauve definition for the lips. Not too brown, not too pink. Or leave-in, apparently. That's what I just heard. So the other day I was getting my hair trimmed and my roots touched up. Y'all always ask about my hair color. So I've been getting I only dye my roots because I have gray hair. I've had gray hair since I was, I don't know, 22. Honestly, it's wild. That being said, I haven't been dyeing it that long. I've only been dyeing it 3 or 4 years. So this is from about right here, I would say, to my roots. That's not my natural color, but once we get down here, I mean, and even that, this is all my natural color. So I've never dyed the rest of it. Okay, but let me get back to my story because y'all do ask about my hair color. I don't know. If I didn't have to go get these grays covered up, and I really don't, I want you to embrace them too. I think I only started doing it because I already had them from my 20s, so it was like, meh. But that all being said, while I was sitting in the chair, I was rewarded. Ben came back with this lipstick, and he was like, this color, this is you. And I'm like, you know what? That color is me. So he got me this Tom Ford lipstick. The shade is Pussycat, so it makes me think of Jean Bean. Look how pretty it is. I love this color. Only Ben could find me a color that I wouldn't even gravitate towards, and now I want to wear it every day. Isn't that pretty? I love it. And then I love the name. Now we're gonna we still want density, but we don't need that intense density. The intensity density. And then we're just gonna push that powder in. Much better. All right, there we go. All right, let me go film this and I'll be back to tell you goodbye. All finished. I'll show you the technique, like I said. But this is the shade that I use. I use my NYX Butter Blush. This is Had Butter. I really do like these blushes. I do feel that they are wildly pigmented, as they should be, but I like to wear these more intense colors. But what I do is, you'll see in the video, but I'll just give you a quick rundown. So I take a little bit of that same powder I've tagged 1,000 times. I'll go in, grab some of the powder very evenly on the brush, and then, oh, here I have some here on that I spilled. Okay, grab it very evenly on the brush. You see it right there. And then I pick up the blush, tiny amount, because this is how pigmented this is. And then it just blurs and melts, and it kind of tones down that intense pigment. All right, my friends. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna go fight with my hair a little bit more. It looks really good though. Got my nice little feathers going there. I love you all so much. I'm gonna try to do tutorials while I'm here. I'm set up, but I am here doing meetings, doing the work thing. So I'm gonna try, but if I don't, I'll keep y'all updated. I love you with all of my heart. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, wherever you may be. And I'm actually not gonna post tonight, but I'll see you. I'll see you in my DMs.